My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, "As the Father has loved me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I've told you this so that my joy might be in you and your joy might be complete. This is my commandment. Love one another as I love you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave does not know what his master is doing. I have called you friends, because I have told you everything I have heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you, and appointed you to go and bear fruit that will remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you. This I command you, love one another." The Gospel of the Lord. It's interesting that in the beginning of the church's life and the acceptance of Jesus' mission by the apostles, there's only one time where they end up making again a group of 12 to be special representatives of the Lord. You recall Judas betrayed him, and as a result there are just 11 apostles. And we just heard from the first reading from the Acts of the Apostles the description of the calling of Matthias to replace Judas. And after that replacement occurs, ever after that, as the various disciples either lose their life through martyrdom or die of a natural death, they are not replaced. It's just the very beginning of the church's life that there's the need for this. And it seems to focus specifically upon the fact that as the message was initially being given out, it had to really be very clear the fact that these people were witnesses themselves to the resurrection event, because the resurrection event is what gives proof to the entire teaching, to the entire message of Jesus. Today in the Office of Readings for the Feast of St. Matthias, there is a description, or rather an explanation of this text, given, a very, very good one, by St. John Chrysostom, and that will be our meditation for today. He ends up quoting in the course of this lines from the Acts of the Apostles, which we just read. "In those days, Peter stood up in the midst of the disciples and said, 'As the fiery spirit to whom the flock was entrusted by Christ, and as the leader in the band of the apostles, Peter always took the initiative in speaking. My brothers, we must choose from among our number.' He left the decision to the whole body, at once augmenting the honor of those elected and avoiding any suspicion of partiality, for such great occasions can easily lead to trouble. Did not Peter then have the right to make the choice himself? Certainly he had the right, but he did not want to give the appearance of showing special favor to anyone. Besides, he was not yet endowed with the Spirit. And they nominated 2, we read, Joseph, who was called Barsabas, and surnamed Justus, and Matthias. He himself did not nominate them, all present did. But it was he who brought the issue forward, pointing out that it was not his own idea, but had been suggested to him by a scriptural prophecy. So he was speaking not as a teacher, but as an interpreter. And so, he goes on, we must choose from those men who lived in our company. Notice how insistent he is that they should be eyewitnesses. Even though the Spirit would come to ratify the choice, Peter regards this prior qualification as most important. Those who lived in our company. To continue the passage, all through the time when the Lord Jesus came and went among us. It refers to those who had dwelt with Jesus, not just those who had been his disciples. For of course, from the very beginning, many had followed him. Notice how it is written that Peter himself was one of the 2 who had listened to John and followed Jesus. All through the time when the Lord Jesus came and went among us, to continue further, beginning with the baptism of John. And rightly so, because no one knew what had happened before that time, although they were to know it of later through the Spirit. Up to the day, Peter added, on which he was taken up from us, one of these must be made a witness along with us of his resurrection. He did not say a witness of the rest of his actions, but only a witness of the resurrection. That witness would be more believable who could declare that he who ate and drank and was crucified also rose from the dead. He needed to be a witness not of the times before or after that event, and not of the signs and wonders, but only of the resurrection itself. For the rest happened by general admission openly, but the resurrection took place secretly and was known to these men only. And they all prayed together, saying, "You, Lord, know the hearts of men. Make your choice known to us." You, not we. Appropriately, they said that he knew the hearts of men because the choice was to be made by him and not by others. They spoke with such confidence because someone had to be appointed. They did not say, "Choose, but make known to us the chosen one, the one you choose, Lord," they said, fully aware that everything was preordained by God. And then they drew lots, for they did not think themselves worthy to make the choice of their own accord, and therefore they wanted some sign for their instruction. With the calling of Matthew, the final succession of the apostles is in place. From that point on, that ministry of those first 12 is taken on throughout the centuries by those who followed them.